Hi, I'm Lucy, aka Gigglebox, and welcome to my channel. I've always wanted to go to Disneyland. I mean, it's where it all began, and it's also the land that Walt Disney walked on. I mean, he literally built that park. So I've always wanted to go there just to see it. I mean, the original Magic Kingdom, as they call Disneyland, is somewhat similar to the Magic Kingdom down in Florida, but not completely. But because it's all the way in California, completely across the country from me, I knew that right now really wasn't the time financially. But something kind of happened. John started traveling with his work, and several of his trips were over in California. So one of the trips that he went to California for, he decided, why not just go ahead and go to Disneyland? Now, financially, we really couldn't afford it, but the fact that John's plane ticket was already being paid for by his employer made it a little bit easier. And we also decided that it would be an adult-only vacation. So that helped make it a little bit cheaper. So basically, all we had to do was pay for my plane ticket out to California, and then our hotel and our tickets for the parks. We were lucky enough that my mom was able to take some time off to take care of Michael and make sure that he got to school okay and that he was doing okay, while we spent a weekend at Anaheim, California to experience Disneyland without Michael. And the reason why we wanted that was because we wanted to get a feel for the parks, and then that way when we brought our kids with us, we wouldn't feel like complete and total noobs and be completely lost. We would look like we knew what we were doing. So I hopped on a plane and flew out to California. We only spent one day at each park. I would highly suggest that you spend at least 2 days at each park, because you never know when you may get to go back. So when we had an idea that it was possibly going to happen and we had possible dates, I contacted our Disney travel agent, Kristy, and she helped us in so many ways. I was so surprised at how fast she was able to get things booked, and that we really didn't have a problem with finding something. Now, because I booked everything, I even booked my flight through Disney. Whenever you book through a Disney certified travel agent, you're dealing directly with Disney when you book. When it comes through, it says Disney. So because I booked all my stuff through Disney, even though we did not stay at a Disney resort, we stayed at a Good Neighbor Resort, which is directly across the street from Disneyland. Yes, directly across the street from Disneyland. John and I walked to Disneyland every day. And I like that, because you didn't have to rent a car and you didn't have to wait around for a bus. You literally just got out of your hotel and you just walked down the road and hopped into the park. So with the perks of purchasing through Disney, we got this awesome backpack. And what's so awesome about it is it's nice and insulated. So, and it's much bigger than the backpack that I had taken with me when I went to meet John at Disneyland. So we actually used this one instead of the backpack I brought. So that's one of the things that we got for booking through Disney. So because of such short notice of booking all of our stuff, our tickets and everything were waiting for us when we checked in at our hotel. So we actually received a huge manila envelope, but inside the manila envelope was the backpack and then this envelope. Inside the envelope, had our Disneyland tickets, and then it had the Disneyland Magical Extras. Now, we didn't use all of our extras. Like there's one to get a free 5x7 from a photo memory, and then there's some other discount stuff. But one of the things that we did get is our free lanyard, which is nice because if you want, you could just wear it around your shoulder, around your neck, and put your ticket in here. It just zips like a Ziploc bag, and then you put your ticket in there. And at that time, they were using fast passes, so it was also nice to store your fast passes until you had to go and turn your fast passes in. You also received a Disneyland pin, and each one in your party receives a pin and a lanyard. One other thing that we received in our package that every member in our party received was these pretty awesome looking luggage tags. Now I highly recommend not putting it on your luggage because we did put luggage tags on our luggage when we went to Disney World last year and someone swiped them. I don't know where it got swiped, but when it got back to our room, these babies were not on the suitcases. So I highly recommend you not putting them on your suitcases, but they are pretty nice looking. So one of the things that I did do before heading over to Anaheim, California, was I went ahead and purchased the PhotoPass. In Magic Kingdom, it's called Memory Maker, and you can add that into your Disney booking. But with Disneyland, it's called PhotoPass, and it's not added into your booking at all. So I went ahead and purchased it through the Disneyland's website and had it all ready to go with my Disneyland account, which is basically the same account that you use for My Disney Experience, same login and everything. It's just on Disneyland's website and through the Disneyland app on your phone. So our first day was at Disney California Adventure, and the reason being was because Disneyland was closing early our first day because they were having their Halloween party. So since it was our first time and we had no idea when we would be coming back, I wanted to get as much time in both of the parks as possible. So I chose to do California Adventure first. So we got our PhotoPass hooked up and got a card for the PhotoPass. Basically just went about our, went around, walked around, did whatever we wanted. We even went back to our hotel and spent about an hour resting before we had to get back for our dinner reservation. We had dinner reservations at Ariel's Grotto, which actually right now is no longer because they're refurbishing that area to be Pixar themed. So I believe that restaurant may become some other type of Pixar themed restaurant. But we did the dining reservation to get a spot for World of Color. Definitely make plans to see World of Color. And I would highly suggest either getting there early enough to try to get the Fast Pass for World of Color, or doing one of their dining reservations that includes a Fast Pass for World of Color. Because Michael was at home, we did try to videotape and post pictures on our Facebook pages as much as we possibly could so that my mom could let him see what Mommy and Daddy were doing. So the second day was Disneyland, and it actually was on The Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World's anniversary. It was their 45th anniversary, I believe. So we were at Disneyland, the original Magic Kingdom, the day that everybody was celebrating Magic Kingdom's anniversary. Oh, and that's also Epcot's anniversary as well. As soon as we walked into Disneyland, both John and I had chills go up and down our body. And I'm certain that it's because of the fact that it was the land that Walt Disney walked. He used to do tours. He has an apartment above the fire station that he used to stay in. So his presence is still very much there. And I think that's what we were feeling as soon as we walked in. We were a little taken back by the lack of grandness that it is when you are at the train station looking down Main Street, USA, and seeing such a small castle when we're so used to seeing the large Cinderella Castle. It's still a gorgeous castle, and love the fact that you can like just walk right through it, and that there is a walk-through where you actually walk up and over inside the castle, basically showing you the story of Sleeping Beauty. So one tip that we learned while we were there was, if you have kids, Fantasyland is the section that you're mostly going to want to be at, especially if you have smaller kids. And those rides do not have fast passes. And those rides, because a lot of them are original rides, and you can only ride them at Disneyland, because some of them that were at Disney World are no longer. So people like me, they want to ride Mr. Toad's Wild Adventure because I haven't ridden it since I was a little kid, so I had to ride that. So we stood in line for a while to ride that ride. So what we learned was, if you're going to go to Disneyland and you want to ride Fantasyland rides, get there right before Rope Drop, and as soon as Rope Drop hits, go to Fantasyland and get on as many rides as you possibly can, because it gets really, really long lines for all of the rides. Another thing about Disneyland Resort, the food is delicious. I really did not have a meal that I did not like. Even going to the quick serve, the food was delicious, even though we were in a financial situation. But at that time, we really didn't want to admit it. But now we are steering the ship in a different direction and are rectifying it. And as of right now, there are no Disney World or Disneyland trips anytime soon. We've got to get the finances under control. But I still tried to be cautious of what we were spending. So that's the reason why we did not stay at any of the Disneyland hotels. There are 3 of them, and even the Value Hotel was still expensive. So the Good Neighbor Hotel that we stayed at was right across from Space Mountain. So that was one of the ways that we were able to save some money, because those hotels are, once you add your Disney tickets, they do give you a discount for the room. The one cool thing about the hotel we stayed at, the rooms were Disney themed, and I believe it's the rooms with a preferred view. So the rooms that look at Disneyland, I believe, are the rooms that are Disney themed. But don't quote me on that. It's just that our room had a view of Disneyland, so that's the reason why I think that. But the hotel itself had Disney stuff all around. So we would get breakfast on the way to Disneyland. Disneyland was only a block away. Well, the entrance was only a block away from our hotel. So John would get McDonald's, I would pick up Panera, we'd eat it on our way, then we'd go through security and then hit whichever park we wanted to hit. There's also Downtown Disney, which with the parks, Disneyland is on your right and Disney California is on your left. Their entrances are right across from each other, and if you go that way, it'll take you to Downtown Disney. Now, when we were there during the fall, so Disneyland was decorated for Halloween, but that year, Disney California Adventure was not decorated. It wasn't until the year later that they started decorating Halloween, and I cannot wait to go back and experience what Disney California Adventure looks like decorated for Halloween. And take Michael. I think he would really get a kick out of it. It looks really awesome. But we did get to experience the special thing that you can only see at Disneyland. Disney World does not have it, but we got to see the overlay for the Haunted Mansion with it being the Nightmare Before Christmas. Amazing, amazing. And I will tell you, the ballroom, they put a gingerbread house. It's a real gingerbread house that they literally bake and put together, and it's different every year, and it smells of gingerbread as soon as you are moved in your dune buggy into that room. Amazing. While editing this video, I realized that this video is going to be too lengthy if I put our whole entire Disneyland trip in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the pictures I took traveling to California. Actually, I think that's just one picture I took. And then what John and I did for dinner that night and walking around downtown Disney, and then the pictures of our room. And then I will break it up into 2 more videos, one of Disney California Adventure and the other one of Disneyland. So stay tuned for those.